welcome to Health Dialogue Show. I am Dr. Bhumika, and today's episode is dedicated to recognizing Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Each October, we come together to raise awareness, promote early detection, and honor the strength and resilience of those affected by breast cancer. This year's theme, Every Story is Unique, Every Journey Matters, reminds us that behind every diagnosis is a personal journey, one that deserves understanding, support, and compassion. Joining us today to shed light on this important topic, we have with us Dr. Vani Parmar. So, Dr. Vani Parmar is currently the head of the department Breast Oncosurgery, KIMS Hospital, Thane. She has an experience of 37 plus years as a surgeon with 27 plus years dedicated to breast oncosurgery. Dr. Parmar has performed over 20,000 breast cancer surgeries and she has established India's first 3D printing facility at Tata Memorial Center at Trek. She has been a teacher and mentor for 30 years, shaping the next generation of breast cancer surgeons. Dr. Parmar has been internationally acclaimed for leadership, education, clinical innovation, and oncoplastic techniques and aesthetic surgery. I welcome you to the show, ma'am. It's a pleasure to have you on board with us today.
Thank you very much. Thank you for this opportunity and the invitation.
So, we'll start the interview by first question. Like, what are the causes of rising incidence of breast cancer?
So, breast cancer, as you all know, is one of the most important cancers in women. It is the commonest cancer not only in India but also globally. And as we move towards a westernized lifestyle in India, cancer incidence seems to be rising up, especially so in the younger women. Again, the population of younger women being more in India demographically, we are like 80% of our women are below 50 years of age, a young population. We have more numbers that we see in the younger women. And so our concerns are also much more for the younger population.
So, how can lifestyle changes influence breast cancer risk or outcomes?
To understand how lifestyle changes can impact on lowering our incidence, we have to first understand what the risk factors are. In India, the risk is actually much lower as compared to the West. And if you look at the incidence in the rural areas, it's 1 in 64 women in the lifetime, as compared to in the urban areas, which is 1 in 28 in a lifetime. Now, obviously, this change has come towards because there is a lifestyle difference between the rural and urban areas. When we move towards adapt a lifestyle that is more similar to what we see in the West, where women work more, they're ambitious, they are delaying their pregnancy, they're delaying marriage beyond the age of 30. And that's where you have all the incidences that go up. And to understand this, so breast cancer risk factors primarily are related to the hormonal influences. An early menarche startup periods and a late menopause shows that there is an impact of estrogen and progesterone hormones on breast cancer. And these will vary depending upon how you delay a pregnancy. So, a late pregnancy, not breastfeeding, not having a child, impacts in increasing the risk for breast cancer. Also, lifestyle features such as alcohol, smoking can also increase the risk for breast cancer. Obesity, which comes out of a poor food habit, there's a lot of fast foods that have become now a norm, especially working women who don't have time. So that increases the risk for breast cancer as well. So you have all of these features which are part of your lifestyle impacting increase in risk for cancer. So if you adapt the other way around, have a healthy lifestyle, have good food habits, exercise, lose weight, the risk for cancer comes down.
Absolutely right, ma'am. That was very nicely explained. So, my next question to you is, how can breast cancer be detected early, and what are the best screening methods? And can you also elaborate on self-examination method, ma'am?
So, knowing one's own breast is probably the easiest way of detecting a change in the breast. Remember that breast cancer initially presents majority of the times in 85% of cases as a painless lump. And that's something that most women feel that it's a lump that's not bothering me, it's not hurting, so why should I go ahead and get myself checked? So remember, lumps don't lie. So if you have a painless lump that's been sitting there for some time and has been growing, it's important to get yourself checked upfront. Now, if you have a breast self-examination, which is nothing but examining your own breasts every month, once a month, you will be able to detect this lump much earlier in a much smaller size. Earlier you detect, higher the chance of cure. So, breast self examination remains the most important awareness and detection tool. In addition to this, imaging or mammograms that are commonly practiced in the West as a screening tool are used in India as more of a diagnostic because detection of cancers in a young breast, which is very dense, by a mammogram is not very effective. So, mammogram is an added tool which helps in detecting a cancer early. So, these are the most important. The third, of course, is to get a clinical breast examination by a doctor, by your breast surgeon, by your gynecologist. Any one of these would be good enough to detect a cancer early. So, having an awareness is the first and foremost. Getting yourself checked, checking yourself regularly, and getting it imaged at the right time will help you to detect a cancer early.
All right. So, moving on to the next question, what symptoms should women not ignore?
I think I already alluded to that. That if you have a lump which is painless, which has been increasing in size, don't just sit over it. Please get yourself checked by a doctor. Get yourself checked by a breast surgeon if you have anybody in your proximity, and get it checked because this is where we miss a cancer. So, a painless breast lump is one important thing. In addition to this, any change in the skin, redness, nipple retraction, discharge from the nipple, any pain in the arm that you've been noticing lately, could be a swelling of the arm also, indicates signs of cancer. So please get yourself checked. Remember, all lumps may not be cancer. Don't be afraid. Go ahead and get yourself checked. It may be a benign lump, but you don't decide that. Let the doctor tell you that it is nothing to worry about.
All right, ma'am. So, like you already spoke about how mammograms have to be like screening methods and not diagnostic tool, primary diagnostic tool, I must say. So, ma'am, how often should women get mammograms done, and at what age should they start?
So I may want to just correct that. A mammogram is actually a very important diagnostic tool when you have a symptom. But screening is done for women who don't have any symptoms, who are basically healthy. Now, in them, a mammogram done would help to detect cancer if it is able to see the cancer. So, above the age of 50 years, postmenopausal women have less dense breast, and mammograms performed in these women will detect cancer early. Advisably, for screening, mammogram is done every 2 years in women above the age of 50. In India, since cancer is more commonly seen in younger age at 47, so there is a ICMR guideline which states that you should have a mammogram starting from the age of 40 and do it every year. That's also because you miss cancers between the screens. Young women cancers are aggressive cancers, so if you do them more frequently every year, you'll be able to pick up much earlier.
That was also very informative, ma'am. So, my next question is, what role do genetics and family history play? Like, should everyone get genetic testing done, or is there a specific population that has to get genetic testing done? Can you elaborate on that?
So, any family history of breast cancer, say having one member in the family, does not always make you a familial cancer or somebody who's got a genetic risk. It could be a chance. Remember, age, an increasing age is an increasing risk factor for developing any cancer, including breast cancer. Having a male breast cancer, and I need to address that because males also do get breast cancer. So, for every 100 women with breast cancer, there will be one man who will present with a cancerous growth in the breast. So, a male breast cancer again is a genetic risk that one must look out for. So, women who need to be tested for breast cancer would be those who have two or more members in the family having breast cancer or ovarian cancer, since breast and ovarian cancer are a syndrome. Anybody who is very young, say below 30 age, maybe even at the age of 20. So, breast cancers in a young woman would probably be a genetic risk. Thirdly, if there is a breast and ovarian cancer in the family, first degree or a second degree relative having a breast or ovarian cancer, or a bilateral breast cancer in one member, such conditions indicate there may be a genetic risk. The test here is done calculating a blood sample, and we look at germline mutation. That means something that is carried down from generation to generation. It could be in siblings, it could be in mother to daughter, it could also come from the paternal side because 50% of the genes are shared from the father's side. So, again, don't ignore any of these. If somebody has a cancer, please remember that you may need to check yourself in case you carry the risk. There are also syndromes with other cancers, for example, prostate cancer, stomach cancer, colonic cancers, thyroid cancer. There can be a syndrome in the family. Knowing there are multiple cancer cases in your family also increases the chance that you may be carrying a genetic risk. So get yourself checked, don't just ignore it.
And my last question to you is, you've joined hands with Embark Motor World for the Cut Across Cancer initiative. So, can you tell us more about this unique campaign? Like, how do you see this initiative helping in spreading awareness, encouraging early detection, and engaging the public in a meaningful way?
Embark Motor World has actually created this very creative, I would say, a thought process. It's a very special initiative that I'm very proud to be associated with. It has been basically based on a experiential driving and journey that blends purpose, people, and community together using the power of movement, literally. We start conversation around breast cancer awareness and early detection that feels both symbolic and engaging. Now, as you understand, this is the October month. October month is the Pink October month. And the pink ribbon actually depicts cancer awareness, courage, and hope. And we are looking at creating this symbolic pink ribbon by creating a drive that looks across the city, creates, engages the community, creates awareness, and actually brings it right in the foremost. It becomes a talking point, it becomes a thought point, and I think that's something that will create more awareness in the public than any other activity. So that's the main purpose of creating this drive. In addition, through this, in association with the NGO Sanjeevani, who has been involved in all aspects of cancer care for cancer patients, right from being there for the patient, the CAMSATHI, wellness, hope, healing. I think what we are creating is here showing the public and creating an awareness that cancer is something that does not pull you down. You need to be aware, you need to be detecting it early, and by walking together, we will probably be able to lead towards a situation where you will bring down the incidence of cancer, you'll be able to detect it early and cure it early. So, as I see, we hope to reach people beyond the hospital walls, make awareness a part of your everyday conversation, and take it forward to a level that you're able to bring the incidence down, but just by creating a whole lot of awareness.
Ma'am, that's a great initiative. I wish you all the luck, and I hope it's a great success.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
And thank you so much, ma'am, for speaking to Medical Dialogues and for actually, briefly but yet so impactfully, you answered all the questions. So, thank you so much for your time and effort, ma'am.